This place is very special. Page Springs is a valley filled with springs. From a biotic perspective, this is a very rich and diverse area. From a community perspective, we've got the greater Verde Valley, Jerome, Cottonwood, Clarkdale, Camp Verde, all kinds of different people, demographics here. It's really a fascinating area.
I've been jumping off cliffs and going to the creek since I was a little kid, and this is home for me.
This is one of the things that is really emphasized with our family is keeping this water flowing. You know, we have Page Springs, then we have Oak Creek, and we want to make sure that the trees are surviving, that they have enough water, that they have enough resources. Our kids right now are all really proud that they can bring their friends here and say, look what we accomplished.
Arizona to me it's the new place to make wine. It's on the edge of where you should.
Once you get to know the desert and see how amazingly rich and diverse and beautiful, it just blows my mind. Arizona is just so diverse, you know?
Our job as winemakers is not necessarily to leave our imprint. We don't want to make wines that taste like they were made. We want them to be more of reflections of a place. So our jobs are not really winemakers, but more like shepherds, and take the wine from one medium to another. And the true art form is to have a wine reflect a place, and that's the uniqueness of it, the soils, that vintage. If it rained a lot, or, you know, God forbid, if there was a fire nearby, you might taste that in the wines. And we don't necessarily want to mask anything. We want it to just reflect a place and a time, and that's really an honor to do.
Winemakers paint landscapes with liquids. And so a wine becomes an artistic expression of a place, and it appeals to your sense of smell and taste versus looking at a painting and using your eyes.
I think people are just surprised that there's wine here, and then they taste it and they're just surprised that there's actually quality wine here. To surprise people with how good Arizona wine can be, I think that's the most rewarding thing.
Wine has this amazing history and these cultural roots. To me, wine and community are just completely interwoven, and I think they foster one another. To me, ecology is it's everything. It's studying relationships, right, in nature, how things are connected, how they interact, both in time and space, the use of resources, things like that. In creating this business, a lot of those principles of how things interact, how we design this place and how we power it, what we do with our waste that we create, those things all were informed by my ecology background.
But when I first met Eric, this was always his goal, was to leave no footprint, to be as sustainable as possible. His is the more grander vision, overlooking the whole winery. For me, seeing his vision and thinking about ways of maybe how to help facilitate those steps happening.
I've looked at this business from day one, and I've had these thoughts, and one of the biggest is electrical use. We're in Arizona. We have all this sun. Let's do something with it. We often say we're 100% solar. It depends on the month and the day, you know, but we also put in this battery system, and the battery system helps us because we're grid tied. There's pollution associated with producing these things. But in the big picture, if you look at the life cycle of the carbon footprint of these, you get way ahead. Then there's the liquid waste, toilets, sinks, drains, you know, everything from the winery, everything from the bathrooms, everything from the kitchens. It gets completely processed through these aerobic and anaerobic systems, and then it goes through a wetland at the end, and then we use it to irrigate.
Everything you see has been pre-thought of for over 20 years. These ideas have always been there. It's just a matter of how to make it happen.
Solar arrays cost a lot of money, and it takes a long time for you to recoup that to the point where that investment starts paying back. And a lot of small businesses can't afford that out of the gates, which we couldn't either. But with the help of some government grants, there are these REAP grants, these renewable energy grants, they help pay for a portion of our solar arrays. And that took the window of time that we recouped those investments down quite a bit. I think resource independence in general is a great thing. A lot of the things that we've done here, I mean, for me, but I think for a lot of people I work with, there's a pride in independence, right? And knowing that we're actually making an effort. When you make this choice and you have a philosophy and they link together, I think it makes you stronger. And I think it makes your community stronger. That's one of the foundations of what a community is, right? Shared values, shared ethics.
It's something that I'm really proud of. It's something that I feel confident about sharing with people. For me, I feel really proud that my kids can look and say, oh, my parents are really into evolving in ways that are positive.
I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and there are things that are hard, but I don't have any problem getting up and going to work every day. I mean, I'm excited for the next thing that I do, and I love sharing what I do with people, and that's what we should all do. We should do things we love. I think business should, at least in part, be thought of as a mechanism for making the world a better place, and us being creative and figuring out ways to live together, to work together, to provide for ourselves in ways that are healthy and positive.